This recording is July 12th, Sunday, 2015. It's July 12th, 2015, Sunday. This is Bob Brown. This is for the Walden University. And this is an area that I've been trying to find information on. It's under the NIH, under the beneficence. Beneficence is how you treat your research study participants with kindness, charity, and go above and beyond to make sure their welfare is taken care of. One area I've asked a question for and haven't really got a good answer for is here, legal. Investigators increase protections for individual research participants' data from legal subpoena by obtaining certificate of confidentiality. Now over here on the National Institute of Health page, you see certificates of confidentiality, a COC, kiosk. What is a certificate of confidentiality? It will allow researchers refuse to disclose identifiable research information in response to legal demands. Now, this is a little murky here. Allow researchers to refuse to disclose identifiable research information in response to legal demands. Certificates are issued by the NIH, National Institutes of Health, and other Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, agencies to researchers to help protect the privacy of human subjects enrolled in sensitive health-related research. Now, to me, just reading that, and I'm not a lawyer, and don't pretend to be a lawyer, is that if your research has a health-related aspect to it, then you most likely could get a COC. And then right here it says which projects are eligible for COCs, Certificate of Confidentialities. So again, it's a little murky here. Collecting personally identifiable sensitive information. So, for example, I'm in IT, so if I'm doing something on an ergonomic study of computers, that would be a health-related aspect, ergonomics. So I could probably, most likely, apply for a COC. But again, this is a very murky area. Approved by an Institutional Review Board operating under a federal-wide assurance, FWA, issued by the Department of Human Health and Service Offices of Human Research Protection, and that's the Office of Human Research Protection, OHRP, or with the approval of the FDA. On a topic that is within the HHS health-related research mission, federal funding is not required, but issuance is at the discretion of the issuing agency. And then it points out storing research data in the United States, allowable under federal regulations. And then they have more here. And then they have examples of sensitive research activities include, but are not limited to, collecting genetic information, psychological well-being of subjects, information on subject sexual attitudes, preferences, or practices, substance abuse, or other legal risk behaviors, studies where subjects may be involved in litigation related to exposures under study, breast implants, environmental occupational exposure. So here we have some projects that are ineligible for Certificate of Confidentiality, COC. Not eligible are if you're not doing research, not collecting personally identifiable information, not reviewed and approved by the IRB as required by these guidelines, collecting information that, if disclosed, would not significantly harm or damage the participant. So again, it's a little bit murky there. I mean, if I was collecting, like, if I was doing research on whether you like Coke or Pepsi, you could say, well, that couldn't harm people. Well, actually, now Coke and Pepsi are seen somewhat as a health adverse product. So, I don't know. I mean, if it was a choice between bottled water and tap water, that would be pretty clear. Drinking water is obviously healthy as long as it's clean water. But again, if you're doing a study on Sprite versus Coke, could the disclosure that someone likes Sprite over Coke adversely harm someone? Most likely not. But again, to me, just my thought process is I would feel better having a COC for any research project, because if something goes wrong, that my research participants would be protected. So just my 2 cents, you almost want to have a somewhat, for certain research, not everything, not for marketing research, but for example, if I'm doing computer research and I'm going to do on ergonomic studies of eye strain with certain types of monitors, I probably would want to get a COC certificate, because somebody who makes the monitor may come back and say, hey, I think your study's flawed, and I think your research participants need to be subpoenaed because I think your research was wrong. And then suddenly you have these people brought into court. So again, make sure you go over this with your internal review board, your IRB, tirelessly, so you know exactly what you're getting into if you use any human research at all. That's the point of this study at Walden, this class we're going through, to make you very aware of the legal, social, physiological issues that can harm research participants, and that you're well aware of it.